Okay, let's review now the normal histology of the small bowel. This is the longest part of the alimentary canal. You can see in the surface that there's lots of villi, which are these elongated projections, villi, and some crypts and some round glands here. Let's review the lining epithelium of the mucosa. You can see the enterocytes lining these villi with goblet cells right here. The villi have this long fibroconnective tissue which corresponds to the lamina propria that contains occasional lymphocytes, eosinophils right here, and some vascular structures. Deep in the crypts you can see these cells that have these pink granules that corresponds to the Paneth cells. Right underneath of the mucosa we have the muscularis mucosae, which is this thin line of smooth muscle, and right underneath of that we have the submucosa composed of this dense fibroconnective tissue with very prominent blood vessels. You can see the erythrocytes right here inside. If we continue down, we can see some nerves right there corresponding to the plexus, and the first muscular layer, muscle layer, corresponding to the circular layer, and the second one to the longitudinal layer right here. In between you can see some of the nerves right here, and right underneath we can see the serosa composed of these Let's review now the normal histology of the small bowel. You can see the mucosa, the submucosa, and some layers of muscle right here. The mucosa is lined by enterocytes right here, and it's formed by these long filiform villi that have this lining epithelium that is composed by enterocytes with goblet cells, and the fibrovascular cores of the lamina propria. The lamina propria contains some lymphocytes, blood vessels, and occasional eosinophils. The deep crypts show the Paneth cells with the pink granules here. The smooth muscle that we see sitting right under the mucosa corresponds to the muscularis mucosa, and right underneath we can see the submucosa with this dense connective tissue and prominent blood vessels. Occasionally we can see some nerve structures like the ones you see here corresponding to the nerve plexus, and there's another one right there, and the first circular muscle layer and the longitudinal or more external muscle layer. Here we can see some nerves as well. Right underneath we can see the serosa that is composed by this loose connective tissue with some blood vessels and some lining mesothelial cells. Here you can see one, it's a spindly one right there.